Hey everyone,
Hi,
Raw
guys.
Talks is back. I'm Sara.
I'm Eva.
Today we will talk about breathwork. So yeah, Eva, you have a bunch of questions for me.
Yes. So I've done a couple of sessions with you, and it's been super powerful for me. So I would like to ask, what is it about?
What is it?
What is it?
Yeah, so breathwork is an umbrella word. I mean, in English it's called breathwork. In Sanskrit it's called pranayama or pranayam. And I mean, it's a umbrella word for many different types of breathwork. So breathwork is different techniques that are using the breath for different kinds of healing, so to speak. And as I said, there's many different kinds of breath work. There are more calm ones, and there are more like fire breath. It's like more intense, and they work with different. I mean, they are all very powerful and very healing, but in different ways. So I use, for myself and for clients, I use like a conscious breath where you focus a lot on the in breath, on the out breath, just to calm the nervous system down, to activate the parasympathetic nervous system.
Yes.
And that is super effectful. And but the style that I'm teaching, that I use for transformational work, is a conscious connective breath. It's a 2-part breath where you only breathe through the mouth, and it's oxidizing the body very fast, and it also works with the carbon oxide levels in the blood, and it also activates kind of flushes the nervous system and addresses unprocessed memories and emotions. And that's why people have this kind of large experience sometimes, because when we are experience stress and anxiety and other kind of more of these heavy emotions, fear and anger and all of this, then the respiratory system gets affected, and we start to breathe more shallow, because the nervous system is activated, the fight or flight system is activated, and then we are supposed to take more shallow breaths because the body thinks we are in danger. So it activates like the adrenals for adrenaline, and the heart rate goes up, the blood pressure goes up, and for the blood to move faster, and the breath goes up and more shallow, because we are ready to either fight or flight, because the body thinks we're in danger. And when we do that, and in this society, we are not really in real danger.
Right.
It's more
we're living in a constant state.
Yes, it's more
alert.
of the fear of having an ugly home on Instagram, or the fear of not looking good. I mean, there's a lot of fears. I mean, we had to lose job. I mean, now in Corona as well, it's I mean, there's so much fear going on.
Yeah, sure.
And the body is activated by that. And when we stop taking deep breaths and start taking more shallow breaths, the whole torso kind of gets stiff, because it's not moving and it doesn't get oxygen. So when we stop taking the belly breaths and expanding the diaphragm and just using all of these, everything that's supposed to move inside is not. And then we also start to have a little bit of bad posture and things like that. So what the breath work is doing is that it starts to open up these areas that hasn't gotten much movement, and for some people in a very long time. And then it can be quite dramatic when the energy starts to move, because we store a lot of unprocessed stuff. I mean, a lot in the belly, a lot in the solar plexus, a lot in the chest. And then we start to move that and start to process these things.
Yeah.
And breathe it out through the breath and just allow it to let go.
Right.
So many people can have different kind of experience.
Right. Being through a few sessions myself, it is definitely like giving birth. It is very, very sort of very weird to be breathing that way. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And you kind of don't know what's coming up. There's a lot of tingling happening in your nose. Like your whole body is for sure involved. Is there any particular causes that this might be super beneficial for?
I mean, any kind of stress, any kind of anxiety, any kind of emotional issues, because you start to work to remove the energy. So any kind of, when you feel stuck in any kind of situation, you can turn to this. And if you haven't been working a lot with breath work before, and you are on either you're just looking for natural healing methods, or you're actually on a healing path, you haven't tried the breath work, then I highly recommend you to do that, because it's so powerful. It's like and when you start working with the breath, you start also to become more conscious of the breath, because the breath is, I mean, now that I'm studying a lot of breath work, and I'm very interested, and I go see what the Ayurveda says about it. And I mean, everyone says that the breath is like the gateway to the universe. It's like, I mean, it's, on a physical level, there's so much studies and so much science on the benefits of proper breathing and breath work. I mean, it's just tons of it. So we know what it does to the physical body, and then the emotional body. It helps to clear out these unprocessed memories and emotions, and starts to really flush the system. Then on a spiritual level, it's also super powerful, because the breath is the gateway to like the cosmic intelligence and the universe. And and the breath is also your number one go-to if you do any kind of grounding work. And if you're going down the path with emotional work, if you have anything to work on, then the grounding is the first key. Like we have been talking a little bit about trauma and trauma loops, and start to observe our own loop, like our own behaviors. And when we're doing this kind of work, and it's like, oh, I have this loop that I'm working on. And I say to you, like, you go there with your awareness. And then if you start to feel like this typical scenario is coming up, and I'm telling you, you need to stay grounded in that scenario. Where do you go? You go back to the body, you go back to the breath. And then you go to the emotion, and you start breathing into that emotion and into that feeling and into that space. And I mean, the breath is one of the most powerful, free technique. I mean, that's what the whole holistic healing is about, that you can self-heal. It's like self-empowerment. You can do it on yourself. It's
always with you, and it's totally accessible. But that's the one thing we're most alienated from. It's such a paradox. But for me particularly, this technique has been like a total shortcut to so many, so much to the core problem that I am a huge fan, and especially maybe recommend having a guide such as Sara for the first.
In the beginning, you can have
just because you kind of don't know what's coming up. So for this one, this method, it is doable online as well, so you could give.
Definitely.
Okay.
There's tons. Definitely. Beautiful. I do it mostly online right now.
No,
it's definitely, it's like shortcut. It passes just bypasses your inner critic, and
that's the way you explained it. Meaning, I'm sold. Let's get past the critic.
It goes straight to the body, and that can cause the mind to go a little bit of mayhem because it's used to being in control, and it's used to kind of have it like, okay, I know what we're doing now.
Right. And because the breath, it becomes so powerful.
Yeah, it's super strong.
And the sessions are about 20 minutes.
It depends. Between, it can be 10 minutes or it can be 30, like between 25 and 28.
Right.
Maximum.
But it kind of, like I keep saying, it's like giving birth, like you need someone to like push it. At least for me, it was super helpful. Okay. Yeah, thank you. That clarified a lot.
So should we do a session and then
let's do it
and then get back and
get the inner critic?
Yeah, so we won't film you doing the session.
No.
But we will come back after and see what you have to say.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Wish me luck.
See you soon.
See you.
Okay, so we are back, and in true raw talk manner.
I literally just got up from there.
From the bed.
Mm-hmm.
So how was this experience? Today we did 15 minutes of breath work.
Wow. So very different from the other 2 times. Physically very demanding. Like I felt like I ran a marathon, and I would definitely have, my mind would have said that this is enough several times. So it was beautiful that you kept me going, and then like around maybe halfway, I felt like this new energy rush and like, oh, I can go even deeper and deeper. But yeah, without having someone to push through it, I would have said it's my body's had enough. But then this deep calm, and this was very like I don't feel vulnerable like I did after the last 2 times in the same way. I feel more grounded and like energized but tired.
Yeah, it's very common. I mean, all experiences are different, so you can never have the same experience twice. So some people go in and they have a certain kind of experience, and then they're looking for that experience again, and that will never happen. So it's more about, because when we let go of something, then that's not there anymore, and then the body will go to another layer. And it's also about the intention. So the intention the first 2 times were much more intense,
right,
and more on an emotional level.
Yeah.
And today the intention was
to wash out the last bit of I'm not good enough, or I am not worthy of.
All these stories that we tell ourselves, right? And with that intention, that is also super empowering. And so I'm not surprised that you feel the way you feel. And the fact that we get very tired is because we most likely are very tired, because running around believing that we are not good enough takes a lot of energy. And when we stop doing that, then we can see how much, wow, I've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
And we have many of those things that we keep on doing all the time.
Exactly.
That's where all our life force is going.
Yes.
To maintain these.
And this is, I think this is such an issue for these times. It's like we put so much energy, and this is so universal. Yeah. Every single one has their not enoughness hole.
Yeah, or this belief system that we have to do a particular thing to be something.
Right.
Happy,
absolutely.
Successful, loved, whatever. It's just blank to be blank. It's like everyone has their own little thing that they're doing.
Right. And yeah, I love the, because you can kind of have have the ego mind there sort of lingering its heavy head, and the breath is so, it takes so much concentration to keep with the rhythm, and because it's such a different way of breathing. And so like the amount of oxygen in me, I feel like the sensations are really something I've never felt before, like the tingling.
Yeah, it really drops down to the body, and as we said, it works on both the physical, the emotional, and the spiritual level. So it works on the emotional stuff, but it takes you back to yourself, it connects you to your heart, and then it automatically also kind of brings you home, so you remember what's good and what's real, and then that can affect your belief systems.
Wow.
So yeah, that's why it's such a powerful tool, that it just cuts through the body, mind, spirit connection. It just opened that up.
Fantastic. And what is this technique called?
People call it different things, but conscious connected breath. Some people call it transformational breath work. There's so many different, but it's one of the more stronger ones, more powerful ones, that really kind of flushes the nervous system to dig a little bit deeper. So it's and there's many other tools as well, but that will make works more calming, and
right.
There's many different.
Right.
It's similar to like some people call it like a modern version of the rebirthing. The rebirthing, as you mentioned, you said like being born. So there's actually a breathwork technique called rebirthing. Similar.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for guiding me through this experience.
Happy you're enjoying it. Thank you.
Wow.
So if you like and enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you have any questions regarding breathwork or anything else in the holistic sphere that we are working here at the Living with the Spirit, you can always email us at support@livingwiththespirit.com. You can book a free consultation at livingwiththespirit.com. You can join our social media or visit our blog. There's we have a lot of free stuff, free material for you to. There's different ebooks you can download on our webpage also. So yeah, until next time.
Until next time, and obviously highly recommended. Thank you.
Thank you.